What we doing live? Echoes in eternity.
It's been nearly 2.5 decades since the release of Gladiator in the year 2000. I remember standing at the ticket counter at the movie theater with my dad to see it, and the ticket person leaning over the counter looking down at me, staring for a moment, before looking back at my dad, asking if he knew it was a rated R film. Fortunately, the snarky judgment of the ticket person was overruled by my father's excitement of sharing the film in theaters with me. For this, I am grateful, because the following Monday, the cool kid in my class had seen it over the weekend, and I was the only other kid in our class who had also seen it, resulting in me, in turn, feeling very cool. After the screening, as we exited the theater, my dad told me that Gladiator might have breached his top 3 favorite films. And so today, now that I'm all grown up, I want to look at why the film still resonates 24 years later and might hold a spot as one of your favorite films. My name is Ian, and this is Gladiator. As a kid, I had been immediately captivated by the opening battle, and what kept me on the hook was the 5 gladiator fights peppered throughout the movie. The complexity of the characters and major plot points were a bit over my head back then. All these years later, while the action scenes have held up incredibly, it turns out the story of Maximus Decimus Meridius isn't so bad either. For many men, vengeance is a powerful enough incentive to fight, but an opportunity to achieve something greater than himself, that's a purpose worth giving up his life for. General Maximus's purpose at the start of the film is to win the final necessary battle for Rome on behalf of the Emperor Marcus Aurelius so that he can return home to his wife and his son. When the battle is won, however, the Emperor has other plans for the general. Marcus Aurelius tells Maximus his fate is to be the leader of Rome, and Maximus will be his successor, which would prevent Maximus from returning to his family, returning to his purpose. Maximus's initial reaction is to turn down the Emperor, but after some brief reflection,
You find it hard to do your duty?
Sometimes I do what I want to do. The rest of the time, I do what I have to.
We may not be able to go home after all.
This moment of hesitancy by Maximus happens a few times in the film, and these moments are important because it humanizes Maximus. Maximus is prone to selfishness, just like me, but Maximus is a man of honor and knows not to step in the way of fate, even when it goes against what he wishes to do. Marcus Aurelius' son, Commodus, on the other hand, does not share the same perspective regarding fate, and outraged by his father's decision, Commodus decides to kill his father, followed by having Maximus killed and then giving orders to dispose of Maximus' family and home. Maximus and Commodus represent opposite sides of the spectrum. Maximus is brave, honorable, and uninterested in power, while Commodus is fearful, immoral, and willing to kill his own father for a position of power. Who is good and who is not is crystal clear from the beginning, making it easy to know who to root for. Maximus, surviving the assassination attempt with a shoulder wound, immediately rushes to his home, only to discover he's too late. All is lost and his purpose torn away. We're left with a man who's been shown to be one of the strongest in Rome, broken to his core, and now ready to die because his purpose has been removed. This setup hits a little harder than it did when I was young. The initial development of Maximus represents things that I aspire to be today. Maybe not literally with the whole gloomy, cold, sword battling part, although Maximus does wear a pretty dope fit in the beginning, but on a deeper level, confident, decisive, honorable, brave, willing to do whatever it takes to protect the ones that I love. So out the gate, I feel drawn towards Maximus, and to watch him fall, it hurts. And when Maximus is saved and gifted with a new purpose, one of vengeance, I'm right there alongside with him. Who wouldn't want vengeance against the one who stripped away everything they loved? That's powerful enough fuel to sustain any fire. But vengeance doesn't always align well with honor. This leaves a confusing tone. Being the weaker man that I am, vengeance for my family sounds pretty sweet. Fortunately, Maximus is here to remind me blind, self-serving justice is not the way. When given an opportunity to kill Commodus, Maximus decides against it, as it puts Commodus' nephew, Lucius, at risk. Not that Maximus is overly concerned about the nephew of Commodus, but that Lucius is a boy around the age of the son he lost. While it doesn't end Maximus' desire for revenge, he's unwilling to dish it out blindly. Maximus deserves to take an eye for the eye that was taken from him. However, his honor prevails. The decision not to act further separates Maximus' philosophy from Commodus's, and shows that even when things are at its worst, Maximus stays true to what's honorable. But Maximus makes it clear that no matter what happens,
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius. Commander of the armies of the North, General of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Watching this unfold inspires me to be better, even if inciting revenge is justified in my life, not to stoop as low as the one I'm seeking vengeance on. Otherwise, justice is lost. As the story continues to unfold, those around Maximus become aware that his rebelliousness and quest to balance the scales of justice has become an opportunity for something even greater. And along the way, Maximus never again deviates from his path. Getting even for what's been done to him is still important, but it's overshadowed by the opportunity to liberate Rome of a tyrant and restore the vision of Marcus Aurelius. We see Maximus, a general turned slave whose world is beginning to reopen and grow. He has camaraderie and support, much like when he was a general, but now coming from unexpected people and places. All the while, Commodus, a spoiled son turned tyrant leader, has walls that are rapidly crumbling down upon him. For the remainder of the film, both characters continue to move in opposing directions, ending with Maximus being too loved by the people to be ignored, and Commodus falling apart as his power over those same people slips away. With one last attempt at sustaining his power, Commodus challenges Maximus in a gladiator fight, but not before a snake-like attempt to control fate and ensure his victory. Commodus wounds Maximus gravely before their battle. While a wound like this might have ended Maximus's quest for revenge, instead the gods give him strength to continue, perhaps a reward for his willingness to leave fate up to them rather than trying to control it himself, like Commodus has. Maximus slays Commodus, and if the cold dish of revenge isn't satisfying enough, the speech Maximus has after gives chills every time. He uses his final moments to give Rome back to the people and ensure that a mother and her son are safe before departing this life to join his family in the next. The story of a man with a purpose that's been stripped away and is replaced by vengeance, only to have that vengeance grow into a new purpose assigned to him by the gods. Never for more than a moment deviating from what needs to be done or sacrificing those around him unnecessarily in order to achieve it. All these years later, I understand why this movie breached my old man's top 3 back then. It's a simple story about a man who answers to the call of duty no matter the cost. But each of us have day-to-day challenges, and watching Maximus move honorably through impossible challenges certainly provokes a deep desire and a hopefulness that when the challenges in my life feel impossible, I respond as Maximus Decimus Meridius did, with justice, purpose, and peace, so that when I reflect on my life, I can be filled with gratitude for always answering the call with dignity and honor.
When a man sees his end, he wants to know there was some purpose to his life. How will the world speak my name in years to come? Will I be known as the philosopher, the warrior, the tyrant? Or will I be the emperor who gave Rome back her true self? There was once a dream that was Rome. You could only whisper it. Anything more than a whisper, and it would vanish. It was so fragile. And I fear that it will not survive the winter.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Moving forward, I'll be making more videos on film and television, so make sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell to find out right when the next video is released. Until then, my name is Ian, and I'll see you next time.